more opportunity when people start Google searching. Results aren't always guaranteed, but I can tell you that we had one company out in the Midwest run an Agent Insight contest. So they had put in over 380 Agent Insights within the course of a month. The next month, they started showing up on the Google page, for search in their neighborhood. Okay, might be a little tougher just because of how condensed we are here, but doing these insights, beefing up your websites, adding the local insights, that can only help. And then just, real quick, 4 more minutes, and then I'll turn it over to you guys. No, because what we're going to talk about ties together. How many bloggers do I have here? And yeah, based on my initial survey, I knew there were going to be a lot of hands. You do have a blogging capability within Zap. So, it's twofold. And there's articles on Zap in the knowledge base that are going to walk you through how to construct a blog post. And it can be simple. Obviously you want to proofread it, make sure it looks good. But what you can do is there's some different things. You can write your own blog posts. So, for example, 3 life-changing lessons about real estate. So there's some content on here. What you do want to be cautious of is cutting and pasting content from other spots, because Google will pick that up and actually ding that a little bit. Or, if the company does a blog or the company has a blogging service, you can syndicate from that. You can choose that. So you're not always having to create your own content. You could say, you know what, I don't want to write anything the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'm really busy. You can just connect to the company blog, and that will auto-populate on your websites as well. So there's a lot of great papers. Yes?
Where is that?
Yep. So click up here. There's my picture, because remember, that upper right-hand corner, everything's about me. Click on blog. And so content is either created by yourself, or if the company chooses to start creating some content, you can syndicate to that.
And when you say company, you're talking about office?
Company overall, so it would be M3. So if
what about Better Homes and Garden office?
I have to see how to connect that. So if you, for example, if you wanted to connect to the Clean Slate blog, I have to see if that can be syndicated to the company site. I don't have that answer off the top of my head, and I'm not.
And again, I'm being naive.
Okay.
What is blog? Yes.
Well, I don't see that. I'm trying to understand the point of that.
It's you're creating content around real estate, or what you're out there doing within your marketplace, and then sharing it across the internet.
So,
Okay, I'm gonna let.
yeah. In other words, it's just content inside your website.
It's content inside your website. So for example, you have newspapers, you have you have the television news, but as a Mets fan, guy went out and created this thing called Mets blog, and it was basically a fan writing articles every day on the Mets and what their moves were, and sharing that content. And I believe he sold it, for a pretty penny. Put me live on the internet, and it's all over.
That's what happened.
But so these are content creators, but it's it can be anybody that can write about anything that they're a subject matter expert in, and they don't have to be novels that you're writing. They can just be quick articles. Maybe there's something great going on in Edison over the weekend, and you can just do a quick article about maybe it's a cultural event, or just something that you can share out there and create your own content. Yes?
But if the people that you're connecting with, your clients, are not really bloggers,
Yeah. But you know what? You may have clients that have never found you that somehow find you because that content is on the internet.
We're going to talk about how for you to find people that don't know you now, right?
Yeah.
People that, because right now, most of your content that you're doing is going to the people that know you, right?
But what you're asking with the bloggers, this isn't about bloggers. Blogging is just you guys writing content to put it out there. So you are educators in essence.
Yeah.
You're educating people. So you're educating people on your website. They don't have to be bloggers. They could just be a regular person just
Right.
looking for a website, a house for sale, or that they want to buy a house or sell a house.
They don't have to be blogging to read your blog.
The more
Yeah.
content
So
you
they're
add,
reading it from my website,
Yes.
it's just like a magazine article.
Yeah.
100%, exactly, exactly.
But you're the author.
But you're the author. You're giving your take on anything, like you said. It could be something specific or an event. And then you get found online better because you start adding all this content.
Yep. Best pizza parlors in South Brunswick.
Before I ask Ruben and Amy, I just want to ask you this, Vicki. What do you mean by when you told me that cashier days are over? What does that mean?
Oh. This was a call we had last Friday, and basically we were talking about lead generation, and I started with the company in 2003, and how none of you look old enough, but how many of you were in the business like 03 to 05, 06? Okay. 85. Okay. So do you remember what it was like during those days?
Yeah, there were no fax machines. You had to hand deliver a contract, and you had to get deposits, and you didn't have a computer. You had books, and you had we got a dot matrix
Okay.
printer.
So just beyond, you know, 03 to 06, as far as clients, how easy was it to get clients? How easy were buyers rolling in and a lot of homes being sold at that time? Or did you really have to work for it like you do now?
You didn't have the competition from online. You didn't have the internet
Yeah.
competition, and you had more people calling you up on your sign
Yeah.
and things like that. Nobody was really doing emails and stuff like that. They were
Home
sign
and Home
calls.
magazines.
Okay.
Home and the newspaper. You wanted to be on desk on Friday afternoon between 3 and 6 because that's when the people were calling in to find out when they
Yeah.
could see houses on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. So I think what we saw from 03 to, you know, maybe mid 06, a lot of agents got into the business because everybody knew somebody that was buying a home, and business just happened. And you know, my analogy to Mei Ling was because I was in management. I used to run King supermarket stores, and you know, when I came over, it was like the cashiering days. Like people were just lining up to go through the register and buy a home, and that all changed in 07 and 08. And lead generation is much more difficult now. It requires more effort than it did back then. And so things like your Zap site and building out that content, unique content, property insights, and I know I'm going through a lot, and again, it's just bite off little chunks each day and add some pieces. It's really going to help you in the long run. Go in and definitely, you know, go down here to, you know, the support section and visit the Zap community. And you're just going to see different pieces in here as far as, you know, SEO. So I can type in SEO, and it's going to bring up, you know, all different articles. You know, read an article, you know, every couple days. Just go look and see what other people are doing, because you're going to find that across the country and, you know, even across Realogy brands, you know, people are going to share what they're having success with. So go in there and just take a look. That's the value of being part of a bigger network. You need to dive in and take a look at some of it.
So
Okay.
my next question, and Ruben and Amy can talk to us, is we started this by saying that, you know, the lead router that routes the lead to our office, we don't like them because they're all renters.
Mhm.
And I think we fixed that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, we fixed that problem. And I said, I don't want just all rentals because our agents are not rental agents, we're all sales agents.
Mhm.
So we went ahead and fixed that problem. And now the question came back to us is, well, now that we don't get any rental leads, where are the sales leads?
Okay.
So this is where the dialogue started, and that's why I said, you know what, Mickey, you need to come in here and explain that to us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So obviously build up from SEO, the national sites, your own local marketing efforts as well. With your sphere, so getting your contacts in here and inviting them to your website. And then, of course, encouraging them to share your website as people discover it. So you want to have a cascading effect as you're talking to folks. The other thing as well is, often, and it's just from my experience, we see a lot of leads discounted or marked as bogus. Hey, you know what? Woody Woodpecker reached out to me. This can't be real. So immediately, somebody will remove that person from their contacts or mark it as bogus. I can tell you from 3 years ago, we had an agent sell a home to Luke Skywalker. And that lead came in 12 months before, and the agent didn't engage them because the Zap system is designed, you can put someone on a follow-up. On a campaign where, you know what, just email them and put your name in front of them, it's little to no effort. And then suddenly when you see that again, it means they're active on the site, you re-engage them, you pick up the phone and call them. Working leads on the internet now, people can remain anonymous, and they want to remain anonymous. They're jumping into the process later. They're doing their research before they're
No phone number, no email
Okay.
address, and he's up there every day. It's like, call me, email me.
He has to put one of the two in there, or did he put a fake?
I don't know what he put, but I can't get in touch with him.
Okay.
No, he has an email. He did give me an email.
Okay.
So I say, okay.
Yep.
When are you ready? Let me know.
But the day George is ready, it's going to be a great day, isn't it?
Hope so.
7 to 10 times is typical before you're going to get any response.
Yeah. Yeah, we see closer to 12 to 14 with internet leads. They're
12 to 14 contacts before
Yeah.
actually.
Before they get a response back.
yeah.
Like,
It's just
one of my standards is I hate being a pest, but
yeah.
I'm going.
No, it's it's created a lot more uncertainty, and the agents that are converting these leads are just sticking with it longer. Where the tendency is after 2 or 3 times, they're not responding. Let's move on. You know what? The sales lead that looks bleak today may pan out in 16 months. Just keep them in your system and keep them engaged in your system through a follow-up plan, and then hopefully that turns around for you. Yes.
Is there a way to see if there is a way to see if they opened it, correct?
Yes.
But it just tells you they opened it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they reply, it comes on your regular email.
Yeah, well, depending on how you have it hooked up. So if they reply, it can come through your regular email. But how many people use Gmail or Outlook in here? Okay, you can connect your Gmail or Outlook to this through the Zap store. But so right now, Amber Dunn is very engaged. So let's see here what she's up to. So obviously, viewed home detail pages, saved a home, subscribed to new listing alerts, and it's giving me the last 60 days of activity. So I can see, so if I look at this, Amber's logged into my website just in the last 2 weeks alone, 50 times. That's an active client, okay? So,
Stop looking at my website. I get my card in a minute.
and then it tells you actually the different areas that they're looking in as well if they're spreading their search out. So, if I go into Tim's contacts here, and I'll wrap this up momentarily. So when I go in here, I can see who the bottom score folks are. So if I look here, so here's Amy Mather. The last login was in 17. And let's see how good this agent has been. So if I go down here to follow-up plan, you know, there's nothing attached to this person. So hopefully the agent maybe is sending them a personalized magazine subscription, you know, if they've done a deal with them. But, you know, again, there's no outbound contact, so how's that consumer going to know how to come back to me? So I think what we can do in the future is, I think that probably the next step for you all is follow-up plans. I really need to, that's the engine that drives the customer relationship management part of Zap. And we touch on it in our Agent Basics, but I think that we need to go a little deeper into it, you know, especially for these longer-term internet leads, to hopefully turn them into sales leads if they're just window shopping now.
Window shopping is what's happening a lot.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, Ruben, thank you. Thank you so much. Come on up, Ruben. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mickey. Yeah. Amy and Ruben, come on up. Yeah. Yeah.
So just to segue, and then we'll do our whole little intro. I
He
just
wants
said
to
to
do the
Ruben,
microphone.
oh, I'm pretty loud.
Yeah. Okay.
I may
Yeah.
have knocked that off.
Yeah. You know, Ruben and I had a conversation, and that's where I think it might tie in. You were telling me how Keller Williams just roll out this really fancy program.
Well, it's not much, it
No,
doesn't
similar.
appear to be much more
No,
elaborate
similar.
than Zap.
Right,
So, you know,
right.
I'll give Mickey and the folks that built Zap a lot of
Right,
credit.
right, yeah,
There's a lot there, which is really good.
right,
The key
yeah.
is, and I'm going to let Amy speak first for a moment, and then I'll kind of circle back, because Amy is our director of digital marketing, and this is all digital that we're talking about. This is print, and I'll just talk about this for a moment. And these are print that you have in front of you, but what we're talking about is digital, and that's Amy's expertise. I've got a little bit of knowledge on all of them, but this is why she's here. So I'm going to let her speak for a moment on this, and then I'll go back, take over, and then I'll give it back to her again.
I'm just going to go really quick just to segue off of Mickey. So this is a fantastic system for you guys to use. However, there's a lot of things, you guys are busy, right? So that's also where we come in to really help you with the content. What should I write? You know, he said you can write your own content. That's something that we actually can help you with. Google Analytics, Google Pages, Facebook, there was a whole list of all those different things. That is something that we can hold your hand through the process, because it's not super simple, and if you do have time, you should be, like Mickey said, go through that list of 15 things and try to do one thing a month. But sometimes the experts can help you do that and hold your hand the right way. But the biggest thing that he said that you guys have to keep in mind is that you guys are the experts in your field. And this system, we've seen it in all different types of branches, is fantastic. And the fact that you guys have this at your fingertips and that you're able to go in without any programming knowledge or anything like that, you really should try a little bit at a time. Even if it's once every 3 weeks, you go in, you update your bio. It's really going to help you, because the competitive nature of what we were talking about from 2002 to now, you can go online, you can find 5,000 agents in an area. So how do you stand out? What makes you different? So those are the things that we do and we help with. But this system, it's fantastic. I'm actually really glad that we were here to watch that, because we can really help you take that to the next level. So why don't you do our intro? But I just wanted to say that to you guys, because it's a great system to help
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Ruben, mention about how we're talking about the analogy about a platform. You know how you say you lead the horse to water, whether you know, like this is really a platform. But what else do we need to do as agents?
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So let me just give you, I'm Ruben Mendelson. You have my business card. You have Amy's business card. I'm the director of business development. I'm the director of client relations. Like Mickey said, titles don't mean anything. I'm the sales guy, right? I head up the sales department. So whatever you're interested in, I'm pretty much the focal point, and then I'm able to bring in the experts, so to speak. So H&L Marketing, which is our company, and you have some of our literature, we are Homes and Land, right? How many of you know of the magazine, right? You go into any Wawa, Quick Check, diner, gas station, these are there, and these are a couple of different monthly issues. We are Homes and Land. We own the rights to Middlesex, Mercer, and Union counties. So anytime you have a listing, and this is not just for agents and brokers, you know, we've got mortgage people, we've got bankers, we've got inspection people, we've got termite people, we've got construction people, right? Anything having to do with a home, people advertise in Homes and Land. So we've been doing this now for 12 years, right? The genesis of H&L Marketing is the basis from the magazine, right? People know us from the magazine. People would come to us and say, can you do this? Can you do billboards? Can you do business cards? So we grew and we developed a full service marketing company, and that's H&L Marketing, right? That's who pretty much we work for, even though Homes and Land, technically we are. Many of you know Brian Prinsell. Brian is the founder. Brian is the magazine. Kind of Brian brought Amy and I on because when Brian steps into a room, everybody thinks magazine, right? And that's a big part of the business. And that's print. We've now evolved into digital, right? And so we've got a couple of different pieces here that I just wanted to leave you with, and then we're going to talk about specifics. This flyer, this is two-sided. The side with the bullseye and the dart, that kind of gives you a graphic view of all the different services we offer in addition to the magazine, right? So if you need business cards, you want a billboard out on the Jersey Turnpike, you need a flyer, you want to do virtual staging, you want to do drone photography, whatever you want, we do it. The joke is, as long as it's legal and some things that may not, we do it, right? So we're a one-stop shop for all marketing. We're no longer just the magazine. The back of this, or the front, depending upon where you looked at it first, is a little bit of a description of all of our social media marketing services that we offer. And as Mickey said earlier, social media is an elephant, right? You can't take it in one bite. You take little pieces, you take little bites. And that's what we're going to talk about, is how you can take a little step from where you are today, utilizing Zap, to get into the world of social media. When I say social media, well, this card is another example of everything that we do, both sides. But right now, very popular is EDDM, right? Anybody do direct mailing or EDDM, direct mailing? Two different products, but very similar. This is an example of one of our EDDM. This is the quality of the postcard that your prospects will get in their mailbox. Whether it's a direct mail piece, where you pick the demographic and we go out and we build the list for you, or you do an EDDM, every door direct mail, which is a postal route. I review those for you. I find out how many are in the route, and I give you an idea. The more destinations, the lower the price. But this is a very high quality piece of literature that you're not going to be embarrassed to have distributed. So what Mei-Ling mentioned earlier is a segue into social media platforms, right? How many of you do Facebook? How many of you have a business Facebook page separate from your personal? Shame on you that don't. Amy's going to talk about it. How many of you do Instagram? Twitter? Google? Advertise on Google, Google Ads. Okay. These are all the means of adding what Zap gives you to getting the word out, as I mentioned earlier, to more people than what already know you, right? But you say, I've got 500 followers on Facebook. That's great, but that's a finite group. What would it do for your business if you had 1,000 people? 500 new people who don't know you, but now you've reached out to them based upon what Amy's going to talk about, and you've brought them into your world. Instead of keep marketing yourself to that same finite group of 500 people, but now you can market yourself to that same group, but a new group, and a new group. Those are different platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google.
And those additional 500 people will be funneled into your CRM.
Most definitely.
In other words, you can't handle 500 plus another 500 if you don't have a CRM, if we don't have Zap.
As Amy said earlier, you are very busy, right? And being here today is like a mind blower that you're giving us an hour of your time, right? Because I know you're always busy. We are the ones that give you that time back by doing all of this with you, but for you, right? Mei-Ling asked, what's a blog? Most of you know what a blog is, but you don't blog. We do that for you, right? You post to Facebook, we'll take it to the next step. Now I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let Amy do all the talking. But our job is to help you grow your world using the tools that Zap gives you, but now reaching out to the world because it is a digital. It is a digital world.
So I'm sure you guys there's a lot of information. That's the basic thing. There's so much out there. So you have to kind of do it in pieces. So the first thing, a lot of you guys said you don't have Facebook business pages. A lot of you guys have personal pages. That's the first thing. You really want to make sure that you have your own presence as a business person versus your personal. I do know people that have a personal page and they only use it for business, and that's a different situation. But one of the things in our social media plans, there's so many different things that you can do, and the Zap platform, like Mickey said, is going to help you, right? So on social media, we have different plans where we can help you post different information. So educating the people that already know you, right? You have 500 people that already know about you, already like you, they're already in your contacts. So what makes you different than the person down the street? You want to give them content, unique content. What sets you apart? I always tell people when we write blogs for clients, what are the top 5 things that buyers ask you right now for 2019? Those are 5 topics that you can blog about, okay? So of course, H&L will actually write for you. We'll write content for you that you can post on your website through Zap, and that you can also post throughout your social media accounts. Many of you guys don't have social media accounts yet. That's something that we will help you with. We'll let you know which ones are better for you. Do you need to have all 7 social media channels? Maybe not. Maybe you start with 1 or 2. We'll talk to you about your market. Instagram's a younger market, but it's hot, and that's what people are using now. It's a very visual tool. LinkedIn is very professional based, business to business. Maybe you work with a lot of attorneys or mortgage brokers. That might be your base. That's where we help you. We hold your hands. It's not something that you need to know. That's where we come in as the experts. So we come up with a plan, and we work with you on how to engage people that already know you. And then the second part, as Ruben mentioned, is those people already know about you. So you want to keep them going with the follow-up and all of these types of information. But the second part, which is the fun part, is the lead generation. What about all these new people that don't know about me? How do I get found? So not only that platform where you're going to update your information on there, and like I said, we can help you do that with content writing, imagery, things like that. But now, videos,
We do
exactly.
videos.
He mentioned the video.
Videos are very big.
Video's huge, and also you don't necessarily need to hire a professional videographer, which we do have in staff and we do recommend. But knowing what to, just being able to talk on screen, even the things I was talking about with the blogs, you can actually do a video blog about here's a great area in Kendall Park and talk about it. Like, why is this a great place to raise children? And you give your take. So the outside world, lead generation. So there's lots of different things that you can do to drive leads to your website or to your social media platforms, your Facebook page, etc. So we'll help you. We'll figure out based off of budget and based off of needs. There's Google Ads. I'm sure you guys have all, maybe not necessarily for a realtor, maybe you typed in a plumber or an air conditioning guy and you type it in, you see ads that pop up. We'll get you there, depending on the keyword that the person's searching for or the area. There's Facebook advertising. I'm sure you guys have seen when you're on Facebook, you see a sponsored ad that comes up. We actually can help you promote your listings, actual listings that people, boosted posts are a little bit different. Ads, Facebook advertising. So basically you can put your listings on there. Somebody can see it and say that they're interested. They can click it. They can fill out their information. You'll actually get a solid lead coming in, name, email, phone number. And then you guys would then be able to follow up with them. You also at that point, I believe, would be able to enter them into the Zap network and continue your prospecting. 10 to 12 times of contacting them. But most of those leads are hot right then and there. They'll see your listing and they want to contact you right away. So we help you with all of these outside avenues of driving traffic to you. And of course, you need to set yourself apart from everybody else. And that's where H&L would come in and we hold your hand. And that's my biggest thing, as Ruben said, we hold your hand. You can't do everything all at once, but there's little things that you can start to try. Mickey mentioned the analytics, okay? A lot of you guys probably don't have that. But analytics is a key thing. I'm a numbers girl, and analytics helps us know what's working. Helps us know, did those Facebook ads help? Did the advertising help? Did the blog, how many people read that blog? I'm writing a blog every other day. Who's reading it? Which blogs were more popular than others? These are all insights that you want to understand. And so the Zap system, it sounds like, is really going to help you there.
When you advertise in print, right, it's done. It's written in stone. You can't take it back.
Can't change it.
Right? Digital is spontaneous. But do you have the time or the wherewithal or the knowledge to look at it, figure out what's working and what's not, and change it? That's what digital does for you. As Amy was saying, we track the analytics for you. if you're doing a campaign for an open house, right, we're going to know how many people click on that ad and look at it and are interested. And if no one's looking at it, well, we'll recommend that you don't keep publicizing it.
Or you change
but if
the
it's
text.
in print,
Change the text.
it's
Change
in,
the headline. Change the picture.
digital is spontaneous. It's got a short life. We're able to help you. If it's doing great, we extend it. Right? If it's not working, like Amy said, change the text. We can pick the demographics of who you want to send it to. Maybe you start with a narrow demographic because it might cost a little bit less, right? But you're not getting a lot of results. So then we expand it a little bit. Now you're getting more results because you know where, and now you have the report that says, this zip code is not working for me, but this one is. I'm going to focus my marketing efforts in that zip code.
On the advertising side, the Google ads and the Facebook ads, what's really interesting is that you can target, you can pick a zip code. If you know people are coming to this particular area from, say, Brooklyn or Staten Island, we can actually post ads in that area for special, targets specifically for them. Looking to move to Jersey, great, place to raise your kids. You can be really, really targeted, which is really fantastic. And like Ruben said, it's not in stone. So we can test. If something didn't work, maybe the cover picture wasn't the right photo. We can change it. So that's where we hold your hand, and we help you through the process.
We do that. This gentleman that Mickey had up there, who, I don't know who it was, that he had a picture up there. I didn't know from that picture that gentleman was a realtor.
Right.
I had no idea. There's no logo. There's no tagline. If someone just sees that, it could be anything. We help you. Those are called images or covers. We will recreate you for you, with your approval, of course.
We'll customize it to your brand.
Right.
And if you don't have a brand, we can also help you create, whether it's a logo.
We're working with another agent, different office, no name, only had a Facebook personal page, but that was also his business page. We had to go to his fourth screen, scroll down 4 times to find out that he was a realtor. He used to be a personal instructor, right? That's all we saw. Personal instructor, family pictures, kid's birthday. You can't do that. You can't do that. There's a little bit extra expense, very nominal to set it up, and then it's a separate Facebook page. You put all your business information there. You can keep it separate from your personal, but as Amy said, if you want to use your personal for business, just do it for business, right? Same thing with Google, right? We help you set up a Google page. Mickey asked about a Google ad page. What did you call it? Business ad.
Business listing, which is really important.
Right.
Like if you can't get found on your phone quickly, they're going to find the next agent. So a Google business page was one of the items listed there. That is, people ask me all the time, what's the first thing I should do? And I say you need to have a Google business page.
Now,
and
everything we've been talking about here is the website, is building up your website, building up SEO, right? Search engine optimization. Do you really know what that means? You know it means search engine optimization, but do you know what that means?
Where it lists you.
Hierarchy,
Yeah.
right. The more you're seen, the more you're out there, the more you use the keywords. When people search homes in Kendall Park or homes in Edison, wherever, you want to come up on that first page, right? People aren't going to scroll. It's human nature. If you're not on that first page, visibility, and that's what we're doing. We're making you more visible. They don't know your website, right? But what we do is that everything we've just discussed points them to your website. That becomes what's called the landing page, right? If you have a specific listing and you're advertising that and you want them to see that, they click on that, they go to a specific page on your website just for that listing, right? We're able to guide them wherever you want them to go. But right now, I have to say, you're not doing that. Right? Someone asked about Facebook posts. That's a whole other story. Yeah, Maylene, I'm sorry.
Well, as you said, we started by saying that it's an elephant that you got to take small bites. Mm-hmm. So back to, if we're Edison or Kendall Park agent, I mean, there's a gigantic elephant out there. How do we beat that elephant?
well, the first thing is to make sure that your brand is present, right? So that you have a brand, that you have visuals, that all of your components, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, that they all have a consistent messaging, and even your website. That's first. Then you need to then market, whether to your existing base or to an outside base. And that's where we hold your hand to decide with that elephant which pieces are going to be best for me to start with. And like we spoke with you on the telephone, you know, we discuss with you, okay, all right, well, maybe for yourself, maybe you're going to start with Facebook and Instagram. Maybe that's the package. And maybe you don't have a business page. So we'll set that up for you. And maybe you're going to try to do the blogging on your own, and that's fine. Or maybe you want us to consult with you on what should I be blogging? How do I blog? Can you help me? That's where each customer is completely unique to that big elephant, because you can't do everything, but you're different than she is and you're different than he is. So we kind of hold your hand through the process. So these are packages that we have, but what we do is we do customize each piece. And a lot of the custom services, sometimes clients will just do one or two of those. They won't even do the other, or they might just do one of the social media packages and not do the other and add it on
So
later.
the more you do is what differentiates you from the pack.
Okay. I'm a listing agent. I just listed 123 Main Street.
Okay.
I'm not getting the calls on them because Zillow takes it and resells it to the premier agents, right? This is the
world you're in.
what's out there, right? So by going to getting more visibility, is it going to be where it's actually going to capture those that was going to go to Zillow? It's going to come to me now?
Well, you're going to be competing with Zillow, but you're at least going to be there
Right.
against Zillow.
Right.
And for some consumers, they might not want to go through Zillow. They're going to see that it's Mailing's listing direct. It's going to be your business page. Let's just say we're using Facebook for an example. That's your ad. It's you. It's not Zillow with 1,000 other ads. That's your extra.
We want to get you on that same level as Zillow.
Okay.
We can't make it so the consumer clicks on you instead of Zillow.
Right,
We want to get you there so they have that
have
option.
the
Right now you're down here.
right,
And
okay.
Zillow are up here. You want to be on that same level.
Okay, Mickey, you're out there in the field. You're out there in the field. Ginger and Sonia has listings. Have you gotten any leads off of your listings? None.
On
Okay.
Zap or on...
No, I'm just talking about.
Nowhere, not
Yeah.
So where are you marketing? Let's just start there. Like where are these
Well,
listings being promoted?
It's on Realtor.com, it's everywhere. I mean,
Well, what's everywhere?
But Realtor.com has how many? 5 million listings. So what's setting you
I
different?
don't know.
Right. So that's where we would talk with you, Ginger, and talk to you. Like those are exact questions that I would say. What are you doing now? What's working? What's not working? What's your target? What do you want to be doing? What do you want to be getting? And
But
then
even when I boosted the new listings, when I got it, we got 3 days free, and I extended it, and then I did open houses, and I reboosted it.
so boosting's a little bit different than ads, but I can definitely talk to you offline on what maybe you should be doing differently. Are they able to do things in here in Facebook? Is that what she's talking about with boosting?
Yeah, we have a relationship with a vendor called HomeSpotter.
Okay.
That does.
Yeah, but
That,
then what
yeah.
we learned was that if somebody clicks on our listing on Zillow, and even if the information goes to a different agent, we are supposed to receive.
You're
the
supposed
information.
to, yeah, absolutely.
So it's not
so if-
possible that nobody's clicking on the listing at all.
Do you get? Well, here's the whole thing. Remember, I told you I'm a
We'll have to
members
look at
person.
traffic reports.
Yeah, exactly. The
And I
the
won't
numbers.
have a Zillow.
No, I get you.
I won't have a Zillow traffic report, but yet the way it is set up is you're supposed to be notified even if they choose a premier agent over you.
Right.
Yeah,
So
but
we're not even
we're
getting
not.
that.
We're not getting that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should see if you can get into like the reporting, because
That's the
anything,
analytics.
whether you use us or even in Zap, they've got great insights, and I guess it's third party. That you guys knowledge walking out of here, that's number one. Is just insights and analytics reporting, because if you're going to spend money, you want to know what's working and what's
Yeah.
not.
Can
No.
I just talk to Ginger's comment about Boost?
Go
Right,
ahead.
this is something that Amy
Yeah,
taught me,
I wouldn't-
you know?
Well, it's confusing,
Well, when you boost,
and you don't know what she was using a third party, so it's,
well, but she's boosting to that same finite group, is what I'm saying, that same 500 people, right?
No, she's not.
I
No,
couldn't-
the-
I
the-
wouldn't-
no,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
that's not, yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
But no,
Okay.
the reason why I said let me get Mickey or you guys are out in the field, okay? So what my point is that your listings that's out there and what the consumers are getting is drastically have been changing in this literally in the last 12, 18 months, right? So my point is that, you know, is there another way besides just relying on Zillow or Realtor.com? In other words,
Yeah,
have you
there
find
is.
that
There
have you find that it's changing where you guys are going to show that, hey, you can't rely on Zillow. That you got to just really do your own
You
thing.
have to try and do your own thing. I mean, I can't tell you if it's the listing. You know, I mean,
Right.
there's going to be different, like good listings and bad listings. We all know that. But you want to compete against the Zillows of the world. It's, you know, Zillow's always going to be up here. You're never, you know, they're going to have the money. It's just like the Home Depots of the world. You know, it's like every industry has their gorilla.
Okay.
So Zillow's your gorilla, but you want to still stand up to it. I mean,
Right.
you know, budget comes into play, but you want to separate yourself. And consumers are definitely seeing that as well.
Are you two having a little dialogue by yourself?
Well, it's
Can you share it with us?
we're trying to. Ricky said he wanted to see my phone about this. That way, it's not working.
I touched her phone and she was able to log in, so she's all set.
Okay.
Vicky,
I had it on, but then it fell off.
that on our rental listings, why do we get leads only from Hotpads? And why not from Trulia and Zillow?
Well, isn't it branded? There's other brand, like, isn't there like a Zumper or there's different
lots of
tributary
brands.
sites? Yeah.
Before we were on Zap, we were getting leads from everywhere. It used to come in our email from Trulia and Zillow and everything.
Okay.
Now we are only getting from Hotpads.
Okay. We'll take a look at that before.
And
I
those
leave.
leads are not that great from Hotpads.
Yeah.
They're all such.
We're working with another agent, again, no name, different agency, that she's a premier, and she was spending $5,000 a month between Zillow, Realtor, and Trulia. And she wasn't comfortable. She felt she wasn't getting the results or the return on her investment. So we said, cut it in half, right? And take the other $2,500, put it into Facebook ads and Google ads, but put $1,000 in your pocket and just do $1,500. That's a lot. That'll get you a lot of coverage, and it's a big difference, right? Because she's still getting her Zillow ads, and she's only spending $2,500, but now she's got $1,000 in her pocket, and she's using $1,500 of it, of the other $2,500, to grow her market, to get the Facebook and the Google and all of that.
And she's separating herself from Zillow. I mean, Zillow, you're going to see a lot of different things, a lot of different ads for a lot of different premier agents that are spending a lot of
So
money.
she's saving money, spending less, putting money in her pocket, and getting the word out to more people, which is the key. That's what you really want.
Yeah, but Zillow, like I did that for 6 months, and I said, enough of this.
Right.
I'm not doing it. I got nothing.
Right. That's what a lot of people tell
Because
us.
you're
And
competing
what
with,
you're getting
They're
are
not
buyers.
getting good.
I don't want buyers. I want listings.
right.
Well, so
That's what
so
I
when
want.
I would ask you what's your goals, you would say I want listings, and we would talk to you about a strategy to get listings.
Right.
Someone else might say, hey, I'm looking for buyers, and this is the area that they usually come from. Everybody's different. That's why everything on here, you know, we send this out to you guys, we put it out here, but everything's custom to your needs. You might say, I don't have a $5,000 budget, I have a $500 budget, what can I do? And we'll hold your hand. Obviously, the more you spend, the more you get, but we want qualified leads coming into you. And that comes with a lot of different things. You need to have good branding, because there's a million realtors out there. What sets you apart?
Right.
That I'm going to call you over the other guy on Zillow.
And that's what Mei Ling's point is
How do you
what's
set
going to
yourself up?
separate everybody in this office from the other 5,000 realtors in New Jersey is your branding and what you do to share information with other people, how often you get out there.
And your blog is really good too,
The
because
blog,
it
and
sets
we'll
you
write
apart.
it for you. We'll write it. You'll obviously approve it. We did a luncheon last week, and someone was there was a speaker from Hopewell Junction on health regulations, and
great.
agents took that information, went home, wrote a little article, and blogged it. Now that's information that he and she were sharing with their world that they just happened to pick up that other people didn't know.
Right. It
Right.
was really
Mickey
informative.
was talking about the Mets. I also happen to be a Mets fan, but you could write on anything,
Yeah.
and it's almost like a journal.
And
It's
the
like
other
a
thing is,
train of thought.
which Mickey showed, so you can have a mix of stuff that you write yourself, and then they also have syndicated content that you can just put it in there too and have a good mix of different things, because I'm sure they're hitting stuff that are very important as well.
If there's a town fair coming up, I know there's one coming up in Red Bank. We live near there, and it's dog friendly. So I got information on that. If I wanted, and I was a realtor looking to promote Red Bank, I could take that, write a little
Yep.
blog about it, and put it up there. And I'm just becoming that much more of a tool. I'm just making myself different than those other
Expert.
5,000
Expert.
agents. That's all. It's not a rocket science.
Right.
This young lady had a question. I'm sorry.
When you talk about branding, what components are you including?
It depends on what you need. I mean, we've done everything from brand new logo, like for your brand,
You
or
can't have that 'cause the company has all of it.
but it could be you underneath that company. So it depends. I mean, different agents are different. Like, I mean, we've done that for a lot of different agents.
I mean,
where they
branding is,
have their own-
it could be, like, just
Your
say,
name.
my name. I mean, my brand is maylink.com.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And most of the time, it can be your name,
But that's a name.
just a name, just a name. Sometimes people go by a nickname, and everybody knows them by like AJ or whatever it might be. Maybe that's a logo. But the big thing is like that page that Nikki showed, where it had 3 generic pictures. That's a cover image on the websites here. That's something that should be totally unique to you. Maybe it's your favorite place in Kendall Park, maybe it's the municipal building, and then maybe it's a picture of you, and then maybe it's a picture of you shaking someone's hand. That's where we'll come in and make those graphics, and that image would be consistent across the board. So you'd have an image on your homepage of your website. Your Facebook page would have the same exact image. Your Instagram profile would use the same type of logo. Your LinkedIn, your Twitter. So now you're starting to get momentum of who you are. Let's say you do listings, okay? Maybe on the bottom of every listing you have the same type stamp, that this is me. So just like Mei Ling, it's her name, but that's how people know who she is. So it might be your name, it might be a nickname, it might even be a group. I know there's sometimes groups within the agencies, but we'll work with you.
People like to stand by a sold sign with shaking the hands of the buyers on the picture, so they see sold, they see the people, everybody's smiling. That becomes your brand. That's a
another thing
picture
that
of you, but you're standing in front of a sold sign.
We'll help you come up with
When
the
you do
branding.
your analytics, is there anything that you're finding, for example, somebody wants to work with, I don't know, 20 to 30-year-olds, would you be able to figure out what would be the best place based on past?
Yeah, I mean,
that they would need to.
yeah, absolutely. That's why we ask you who are your demographics, and sometimes they'll give us the whole spectrum. Like from here to here, and Instagram is definitely like that millennial generation that you definitely. But it's visuals too. If you don't take pictures of your listings, if you're not a visual agent, it might not be for you because you need pictures, you need visual.
But Mickey, isn't that what Pinpoint does?
Yeah, we can discuss that. But yeah, no, there's multiple vendors that suit multiple needs.
Yeah. There's 1,000 different things out there.
We're not saying you have to do it
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
We're just saying
yeah.
you should do it.
Well, we have
my point
conversations
was
with-
that I think that Pinpoint does that. We can go into our
Yeah.
demographics
Yeah.
and
Right.
say
See, and this is better branding up here. Where does he sell real estate?
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's better than the picture that we saw before. That means something,
Right.
right? Yeah, good point.
I just had to put a positive. in
No, that's good. That's good. I didn't mean to critique the other guy,
No, but it-
that
Yeah.
picture didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So back to your thing, there's tons of vendors out there. We have calls with different realtors, and they'll pull a name out of something like a pin, and there's so many out there. We have the reputation behind us in terms of where we come from, and we're here to help you. But of course, you can use anybody you want. But the big thing is that use your Zap program and use it to help you get the visibility, however you do it. Any other questions? It's a lot of information.
But with Zillow, the likelihood is you're really not gonna get anything from Zillow.
I don't want to say that because
Well,
I don't
that's
personally.
true. It's very
The leads
slim
are-
that if you're not the premier agent with 100 reviews.
I would agree, but it's
you're
the same
probably
thing
not-
with Google. If you're not higher up on the page, you're not going to get it either. Like it's the same. If you're premier, if you're higher, and you get more visibility, you're going to get more leads.
We can't help you become premier on Zillow. We can help you get on that first page
On
of
Google.
Google.
Okay.
Hey, Mickey, would you, for every open
Good
house
question.
that we do, that we pick up 5, 10, 15 names, it's important to get those onto your CRM, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But I just don't. Again, we just got to drill that to the agents to get them on there.
Yeah.
And like he
and
said,
if you
like
have a
the-
sign-in sheet, just grab their email address right on the spot.
Right.
You know what? Invite them to register for your site right away.
Right. Okay.
And
And
keep
it's
adding
easier
too.
if you write it down because some of these handwritings,
Right.
I think they purposely do it that way.
But you think it's so? What Mickey just said was that we should have a laptop or a notepad and
Yeah.
just do it right there, and get them
I always
to.
have my laptop in an
Yeah.
open house.
Yeah.
Because they don't mind putting it in on that.
No, it's getting a habit now. People are using.
Yeah.
They're already getting a habit of getting in there.
I think
And
that's
just
the
start
follow-up
typing in.
part of what you said. Just in my industry, like in this industry, the follow-up part, once you get them in the CRM, you definitely should have Mickey come back and talk on that.
That's called a
Because
drip campaign.
The drip campaigns are, you know, like he said like 12 to 14, or did you up it?
He said,
I would bump it out even
Right.
further.
It just depends,
Internet leads are anywhere from 8 to 24 months.
timing is everything, we know that, so.
Timing's everything.
Timing
So I
may
think
not be
that if
now,
you drill down on that follow-up campaign, you definitely, I would use that, because that's part of your system, that's
Yeah.
another thing that could
you
be.
should use Zap for at least that drip campaign.
So what you're suggesting, Mei-Ling, is like I always have my laptop, but have the Zap thing open and just name, email, and phone number, and this way they have to type it
Like
in
you s-
properly.
Or you say you're
Yeah.
just gonna do it for them, right there
Yeah.
on the spot.
But
Or on your phone,
keeping
an
this
app.
page open and
Yeah.
an open house is a good idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you have a lot of doctors attending your open house because their handwriting is illegible. So
Oh, yeah.
just type it in for them.
Right, so in other words, you just say, oh, let me have your
Yeah.
name, and let me just type it in, and.
Right.
And then you can also, like you said, you have it on your phone too, if you
So
didn't have your
when,
laptop.
when
you
you're
just-
on this add contact thing, when it says lead information, you
Email
can
on
say
Zap,
open
on the
house, find
CRM?
Denver Drive.
Maybe
and then
we're
you
done.
start to build
Okay.
source effectiveness.
Thank you guys very
Thank you.
much.
Yeah,
Thank
You
you,
have our
Amy,
contact
thank you,
info.
Ruben, yeah, we will definitely follow up and go from there. Yeah, hey, Mickey,
About that.
do you mind, Mickey, do you mind, just answering a few tech questions that Jennifer brought up, and I made a note on it, Sonia brought up. So, Sonia's just saying to me, just saying that right now, her rental listings, she's getting the lead from Hotpad. It's her listing that's going
Okay.
to the listing agent, but why is she not getting the lead from Zillow?
And Julia is the big rentals.
Does that have anything to do with lead router? That's the first question.
You know, I have to go back and investigate. So you're saying before they turned Zap on, you were getting them from Lead
I
Router?
was, yeah, it used to come on my emails.
Okay.
No, you're not okay, before, when you turn Zap on, so before we had lead router,
Thank you.
before we had lead router,
Before
So,
Lead Router.
before
Okay.
lead router, Sonia was getting the rental listing leads from Zillow to her.
Because Zillow doesn't sell rental leads.
Okay.
They send it directly to the listing agent.
Okay.
But now I'm getting nothing from Zillow and Trulia. The ones that I'm getting from Zap are only hotpads.
Okay. Can you send me an example? Do you have some archived? Can you send me a Zillow and can you send me a Trulia? Just email them to me so I can see exactly how they're coming in, and I'll take a look on the back end.
Yeah, because what I'm saying is that either is a coincidence or is there something there's a glitch there that needs to be fixed.
Yeah. Let's take a look.
Okay.
Let's take a look.
Then the next one,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll send you the old leads that I got.
Yeah.
And the new ones that I got from Zap.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just send me a couple of each.
Okay. The next question was when we have our listing and it's posted out there and the customer decides to contact a premier agent, not me as the listing agent, I would be notified.
Yes.
But we have not been getting that notification.
Okay, so let's take a look at let's take a look at some of those listings. Let's see if any leads have come in on them, and the sources. And I'll have interactive marketing do a deeper dive on that. I'm not sure if we can get numbers from Zillow, but I will make sure we do the due diligence on that to make sure there's not something broken.
Okay, so when you say let's take a look at that listing, so Ginger can email you her listing, Sonia can email you
Yes.
her listing, and I can email you my listing?
Sure.
So at least you look at 3 different listings and see.
Absolutely.
Is that what you mean
Yep.
by?
If we can build, the more information I have, the better, and then we can take a look at it on our end.
Okay.
Okay.
And third question is, we just said that we're gonna log in customers from open houses from our CRM.
Yes.
Is there a separate tab for open houses, or just go right
You
into
can
it?
When
you
you
can
go
choose
out
the
and
source
It says lead information, and then you could put open house.
as
9
the
Denver
source.
Drive.
Right, but you put that in.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no other tab. It's just
No.
one tab.
It just
Okay.
says lead,
Fine.
lead
Yep.
source.
Because then what you can do, and you can do lead source, you can also tag those folks under the contacts as you add them. Let's say it's open house 411 Main Street. Later on, you can sort those contacts by 411 Main Street and send them kind of a hey, thank you for checking out my
You
listing.
can regroup them.
Yeah.
At least it came from 411 Main Street.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, get it, Jeff. I'm
Our
sorry.
lead router is, could you explain that a little bit? Where are they getting their leads from?
So it's predominantly betterhomesandgardensrealestate.com.
That's what
It's
lead router is?
well, no, the best way to think about lead router is a funnel. So lead router is not a lead generation tool.
It is or it isn't?
It is not.
Okay.
Okay. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate is a lead generation tool. Zillow is a lead generation tool. All of the other sites that your listings are pushed out to, those are lead generation sites. What Lead Router does is when that lead comes in through one of those sources and it's distributed to your company, it then filters based on the company business rules. So for example, if you're the listing agent, you should get the lead on your listing. If it's not one of the company listings or it's not your listing, there's a set of rules that rotates those leads around, which you've been seeing with some of the rental leads where nobody accepts it and it just keeps going around in a circle until it stops, and then they handle it. So Lead Router is really just a lead filtering tool. And then it has the company accountabilities for company generated leads built into it, like how many updates or, when is my update due on a lead that the company provided me.
So it's not a lead generator. So where does Better Homes, Better Homes and Gardens is a lead generator.
Yes.
Their platform is. But that only happens if somebody goes on my website. And is that how that happens?
So they can enter through a couple different sources. They can go in through betterhomesandgardensrealestate.com, search your area, find M3 the company. They could pick your listing, which then the lead routing rules take over from there. They could pick somebody else's listing, and then depending on where the rotation is, it'll rotate amongst the agents until somebody accepts it. And then
So that's just one. Better Homes.
Yeah, that's just one. With Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, there's over 280 sources that they can come from. So
But Zillow and Trulia are not one.
No, Zillow and Trulia are in there and feed in there, but it depends on whether Zillow and Trulia, feed that information into us as to whether it comes to you. So there's obviously a rotation on those sites, correct? But as we were discussing before, the big thing is they're predominantly choosing the premier agent listed on that page. So it's not really coming in through the top of the company. Now, for example, if you were a premier agent, you all have an individualized lead router address that you could have in your profile in Zillow, and then it will send those leads directly into Zap for you. But if you're not a premier agent, it just... So they're complicated sources as to how they work, but you should be, if somebody's submitting an inquiry on your listing, you should be getting at least the other end. So we will investigate that.
Mickey, can you log into that chart that you and I went on the phone and looked at?
Oh, the
That
Pro
Zap
Score?
What do you call that?
Pro Score.
One more time?
The Pro Score.
Pro Score.
So this is a management tool to see engagement. You all aren't going to have this, but
Oh, so it's management.
yeah.
No, but I want to show you what they monitor or what they see. And what's important that they need to know that, because then you can see what they're not doing, right?
Oh.
Well, who's not doing it?
Well, we're
You're not
doing
doing.
You know, I'm doing it.
No, it'll.
When we were at Natasha Country Club, Raymond said, "Oh, you got a lead on somebody else's listing," and I couldn't remember who it was, and then he sent it to me, so he knew I got it. But that's the guy who.
Sooner or later, he's going to be ready. When he's ready to give birth, he'll let you know.
And you can also keep an eye on what you're doing by going to your history of that anyway, so if you didn't do anything illegal, you can have no history.
Yeah, so things that management can see.
I think on when we were on
Yeah.
the phone, you showed me like a nice clean chart.
So
There,
that's, yeah.
that's it.
Suggest things then? if
Yeah.
you
So when you're looking at this, let's since Eva's not here, let's talk about Eva. What
Okay.
is she doing right, or what she's doing wrong, or what is she not doing?
Okay, so in the last 90 days, she's been in 26 times. She's added 40 contacts. You know, property insights are a little low. She's done one property insight. That could be a little higher. We can see that, so if I sort by number of property insights, there's Ginger right at the top. So,
Which is not a lot, because we're not utilizing.
So again-
that
But
tool.
also the number of contacts added is not correct, because I have 94 contacts, and that says 82.
okay, but this is the last 90 days. Have you
Oh.
added more before that? So this will go back, this will measure up to the last 3 months. Or, so let's see. Let's see what Ginger's done in the last 7 days, knowing that I'm showing up. Oh, where is she? No,
Down the
I'm
bottom.
So,
Yeah, let's go down the line.
Yeah.
Let's go down
so
each column.
let's you know, so property insights. So recommended searches. How many, you know, in the last 90 days, you've had 2 people set up a property alert for clients. So this is, you all can do this through the internet or through the MLS and set up property alerts, or you can do this through Zap. Just remember, Zap, when your client gets a notification on a property and they click through to it, if you do it through Zap, that's when they get directed back to your website. Do you guys want me to show you that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can do it on MLS, but
You
I don't know how
can
to
see
do
what they
it.
looked
Yeah.
at. It shows
Yeah.
you how many properties they looked at. and
Yep.
what they liked.
So,
But can
How do you
we?
set up property alert?
Right.
Yeah, but before we do that, can we finish this
Yeah.
part? Yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna make a note that you can go back to that.
So recommended homes, this is somebody that went in and recommended specific properties for their clients. In the last 90 days, Eva recommended 43, and then Ken was 3, John was 2, Ginger was 1. Okay? So as far as logging phone calls,
We don't want phone calls.
so this is when you log a phone call through Zap. And just remember, when you log a phone call through Zap, that also updates the compliance if it's company generated. So Harish, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, correct? Okay, just I've met him before, so wanted to make sure I got that right. So you can see that there were 7 calls and then, you know, 1s or 2s. And again, you know, this is taking that action to just update the system that you made a phone call to this client. And if it's company generated, that updates the lead and basically turns your lead router back into the green. Emails sent, you know, this would show me some engagement from the standpoint of, you know, Ginger sent 112 emails. Have you done some bulk emails?
No.
No?
I
Those are...
send thank you for closing, it's your birthday, it's your
Okay.
anniversary, it's...
See, so that's individualized. So that number can be tricky at times if you have somebody that say sends out 500 at one time.
I
But
don't do any-
yeah, no, that means that you're really using this. Have you gotten response to any of those emails,
Yeah,
or the
thank
open
you.
rates are good? Good,
Yeah, I got it. Oh, thank you for remembering.
good.
But this is all did you set it up in auto drip?
Nope.
So she should be learning to auto
Yeah.
drip.
Well, she can do that, but what's nice is she's putting the personal touch. So all of those emails she sent the last 90 days, she went into the system and sent them. That's
No, I get it.
connection. But
she
yeah,
can-
no, you can go in and you can set up some auto drip. You know, you can put George on an auto drip if he's just not going to respond to you.
Yeah.
Okay?
But what I'm saying is that you can actually triple that by putting some auto drip in there,
Right.
Yep.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
So touch point notes, what that essentially is, that's just putting a note in on the client or the file. So I haven't sent them an email, I haven't put a phone note. It's just a, hey, you know, ran into George in the supermarket today. Like that type of note. Completed showings. So when a client has requested a showing of a particular property and you've completed it, you go into Zap and mark it as complete. So right now, Eva's marked 6 as completed. Now, when she marks those showings as completed, guess what that leads into? She can do a property insight that she's shown that property. Okay?
When we go to the thing that says My Sold Homes, I don't know what to do with that. I try to put an MLS number, I try to put an address.
Okay.
You know, it just says, I don't get it. I don't know how to use this.
Okay.
So if you go to My Sold Homes, and then that's where you write, right?
Well, no, you can put a heading in. It's automatically going to pull those in from Google. So yeah, we'll give me 1 second.
Okay.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Because the images are not always of the highest quality, so we've had a lot of agents shut that module off.
Oh.
Okay, so we'll go in and we'll take a look at what's there. You might want to delete that text though, because you don't want that specific to a property.
Okay.
So completed showings, Eva, again is up there. Number of text messages sent, so this shows me agents that are using the mobile CRM. Look at Art bucking the trend. Art's got 7. So number of 5-star reviews. Let's see. Who's at the top? Ginger, you have 5-star reviews too. So that should be a little higher. Maybe it's before 90 days.
You know what the problem with that was, Vicky? Because I asked for them and they couldn't get to the thing.
Okay.
So then I called my 800 number friends and they fixed it.
Okay. Okay.
So how do you ask for the reviews?
When you go into,
Yep.
when you go
I'll show
into
you.
their person, and then it says more, and then you click the thing that says more, and it says ask for a review,
No, the person has to be in the CRM
Yep.
and your
Yes,
pass.
yes.
So
Yeah.
your
and then it
letter-
said ask for a review, and it sends them, if you'd be kind enough to send me a review, I'd appreciate it. And they weren't being able to do it, but now that glitch is gone.
That's not the
No, but what if you had a buyer who was not in this, it was a referral from outside, not a
Yeah.
Why
So
can't
if
You can still put it in.
if you add them as a contact, I'll show you.
You
how
put them in
can
as a
ask them for
contact.
review.
it
Okay.
should be in your contact.
Yeah.
So and last but not least, we talked about linked social media. There's Art up top there. Art is leading the charge, which I'm very disappointed in the rest of you. I know Art. How does he have the most social media accounts, Link?
Because he has 4 hands.
He's also a beautiful singer. But yeah, no, I joke, but Art has 3 social networks hooked up. So Facebookers and Instagrams, you can connect that. Yes, absolutely. And I'll show you real quick how to do that.
we'll have to stop showing and telling.
Yeah, no, I know.
I say that all the time.
Like I said,
When are we going to list and sell properties?
1 to 2 things a day, because I want you so busy that you don't even have time to do 1 to 2 things a day on here.
But
Okay?
the thing about this is, it's just like everything else. You have to time block. Okay? You get up. I get up in the
Key
morning.
phrase,
I
time
get
block.
up, I get up in the morning. I check my email. I check my hot sheet, and I check. Now I'm gonna have to check my Zap before I come in here while I'm drinking my coffee in my bathroom. No, I swear to God, I do.
So yeah, every morning I block out 1 hour to walk my dog, because I feel like my health is worth an hour to go take a 2.5 mile hike. You just block it out, you do it, and then you get to other things, because eventually this is prospecting and it will lead to business for you, but you just have to get some of this set up once, and then it goes from there. So when I go in, I'll go into mailings.
So this is all. This is what do you call this score again?
The Pro Score.
Pro score. So pro score means what? Just to say
It's
how much
engagement.
engagement are you doing with your CRM?
With your Zap CRM, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
And the whole idea is that the
any
more
one of
you
your
do it,
managers can pull this up. Mei-Ling can pull this up, and just kind of show you where you are.
right?
Okay. So Mei-Ling, do you mind if I log into one of your contacts here
Yeah.
and show the group? Okay.
There's nothing really. It needs to be
Okay.
worked on. Yeah.
So Myra here. So let's
Yeah.
take a look at
Myra's
Myra.
my assistant.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Myra is an agent lead. She hasn't opted out of bulk email, so we can send her bulk email. Obviously, we can go down through all the details here, but what I wanted to get into first, this More button. The More button is the key to doing more with your clients in your Zap platform. So the first thing I'll go into is, let's talk about setting up a search for Myra. All right? So the first thing here, sign in as contact. When I click on sign in as contact, I am now signed in to my agent website, but I'm signed in as Myra. Okay, you see it at the top where it says Myra Delgado. So now what I can do is, obviously there's some saved properties, but Mei-Ling, just give me an area. Or
Say Metuchen, 08840.
08840. Okay, so we'll go from there. Okay. So then the next piece. So
Let's do price range.
yes,
Yeah, let's say 300 to 400.
300,000 to 400,000.
And by doing this setup, she will be automatically notified where there's.
Yep.
It's the same notification that we set up in the MLS.
Yes.
Okay, but you're
So-
doing it here.
When you're doing it here,
Go ahead.
they're always being driven right back to your website. You're seeing their activity.
Got it.
So that's the difference between the MLS.
Okay.
Yeah, there's concerns with having too much information going out to the client, and that's up to you. If somebody has a really intensive search that you need to set up an MLS search for them, then maybe you don't do it in here. But if it's a fairly simple search you can set up for them, I would recommend doing it in here versus the MLS because again, this is branding. This is driving them back to your site. How many beds?
I mean, I wouldn't. I don't usually limit it to any.
Okay.
At least minimum 3 in this case. let's
Okay,
say.
so
But, you
so
know,
3
yeah.
plus
Yeah.
baths.
I wouldn't limit. Yeah, I wouldn't limit it. In
Okay.
Metuchen, there's not much choice.
Okay.
So I wouldn't limit it.
So
The
then,
more
you know,
the
we
better.
can come in here, we could do more filters.
Yeah. No, the more, because in other words, Metuchen's is a very small town. The more you limit it, the more that nothing gets
Yeah.
sent out. So
Okay.
So you have to take that into
So-
consideration.
You know, just for example, though, we
Yeah.
can do single family.
Yes. Single family.
You know,
Price
right now
range.
we're including pending, foreclosures, short sales, fixer-uppers.
It's right there.
Where, so
Yeah, it's right
right
there.
here where it says more, it'll say more filters.
Yeah.
So when I click on that, it gives me the drop down. Then, you know, you can granulate it even more. You know, maybe it's only colonials, maybe.
No, don't even bother.
Yeah.
I'm
All
telling
right.
you.
Now,
if
is
you-
it okay if I set her up for this?
Yes, go
okay.
ahead. Yeah. But what I'm
So-
saying is that definitely the more you box
Yeah.
yourself in, the more you're going to lose out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Make it too specific.
You're going to lose it. You're going to lose out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can set your search up by city. You can do zip code. You can do multiple zip codes, subdivision. You can do school district. You have all this criteria in here, and there's also, you know, you can go in and draw a map. So I'm just going to click search to see what my results are. So there's 14 properties found. Okay. So I have 2 options from here. I can recommend the search. Do you mind if I recommend the
Yeah,
search
go
to her?
ahead. Yeah, that's
so
why
I
I put
click
mine in
recommend
there.
search.
Yeah.
Do you want me to put testing?
Yeah.
Or
Yep. That's the reason why.
testing the system. I email this recommendation. Okay. She's got a singular email with all 14 of these properties. And now when anything else comes on the MLS within that criteria I set up, she's going to get the property
So
alert
so
that
when
goes
when
with
you
the
hit
market.
recommend, it's going to be all 14 of them.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, recommend search. Now,
Right.
I can recommend an individual property. Let's say I see these 14 and I want to pick out this 570 Main Street.
Right.
I click on that. I can put an
And
optional note in.
Put some verbiage like, oh,
Put some- yeah.
you've got it. Don't miss this, or you've got to see this. or
Yep.
something
And I
like
can
that.
email this individual property recommendation
Fine.
to her as well.
Okay.
So there's 2 choices, set up a
Fine.
property alert or send individual properties through the platform.
got
The
it.
thing is, when they get that email and they click on that, they're back on your website.
Okay, I missed the step sometimes, but I got it, I signed in as a contact.
Yep.
Right? And then, how do I do this? I'm gonna fill in this.
Yeah, you,
I can put more than one zip code at a time,
Yeah.
right?
yep,
Okay.
conduct the search. And to add more than one zip code, you're going to use the more filters, go down to zip code, and you can
Oh,
add
I
additional zip codes in.
Click
Okay,
on-
oh, perfect.
Signed in as
I was
contact.
almost there and something happened and I pushed too fast. Wait.
I'm sorry? Yeah, yeah, I'll grab it from my bag here in a minute. Are you taking off? Okay. Yeah, I love it.
Okay, so I think we got, for now, I think we can pretty much wrap it up. Those that have any more specific that we can catch Mickey for another 10 minutes and we can catch her, catch him, yeah.
Okay. And so, real quick, just the other piece because I was asked about it. Under more, if I go down, I gotta look. There should be here's the ask for a review.
Yeah.
And then that'll email.
I think we're done.
Contact.
Yeah, should I give it to you?
More and
Okay.
sign in as more.
Did you learn a lot? See, you did everything. I told you, you're gonna become an agent.
One more quick question, sir.
Sure.
Abandon me?
Mickey, how do you send out the review request?
You hit ask for a review.
Where? On this present page?
More and then after.
You hit down, where's more?
Right here.
Honey, you wanna ask me something, right?
Don't ask me questions.
Okay, Mickey, this is where I am. Big man, I wanna get away from that chick.
Oh, no.